Hello viewers, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this series, I will be giving a one paragraph summary of the various stories found in the anthology A Silent Song and Other Stories. But before we continue, I continue to thank all those who have subscribed to the channel for your support. And if you're watching us for the first time, kindly click on that subscribe button so that anytime we produce a video like this, you will be notified by YouTube. Again, remember to give us that thumbs up so that our videos can be recommended for more viewers. The first story, A Man of Awesome Power by Naguib Mahfouz. This story is about individual brilliance and how an individual with benevolent dreams for his country and planet can reform his society. Taib al-Mahdi gets a message from a white apparition, which is radiant, is bathed in light, and has snow white robes. He gives Taib al-Mahdi the message that from now onwards, and for as long as God wills, you shall have the power to tell something be, and it shall be. Do with it what you please. Taib al-Mahdi then goes on to bring about reforms in his society up to the time that he loses focus when he meets a beautiful lady at the tea garden and he falls in love with her. Nineveh is a story by Veronica Patha. It is a story about how virtue and good character can be invaluable tools to a 21st century woman to lead a dignified life, inasmuch as she is still plagued with challenges such as poverty. Nineveh is admired by both the rich and poor, men and women. She's a woman of high standing and of high esteem, inasmuch as in her house she only bathes once a week, that is on Saturday, and she does not have running hot water. She only has cold tap water that she uses once in a week. That does not deter Nineveh from earning the admiration of all and sundry. A Silent Song by Leonard Kibera. This story is about how hope that has been symbolized in the form of singing a silent song can be used in face of dehumanizing aspects of life like disease and street life. Mbani, the central character in this story, incarcerated on the streets and at the same time in his brother Ezekiel's hut as a result of being taken ill. He does not lose hope in the face of all this. He continues to sing a silent song. And on his deathbed, we see Mbani give a smile, facing death with a smile. Ivory Bungles by yNgamije. Ivory Bungles is an indictment of the act of poaching and by extension environmental mutilation. In his story, yNgamije attempts to dissuade the populace from taking to poaching and environmental depletion by extension. In this story, Maryo kills a character that is the man's wife. The man's wife dons ivory bungles, 8 on each hand and 2 clanking like castanets on her legs. When finally the woman is taken out of the way, then it shows that the poacher with his poisoned arrows no longer have her or his customers. It is a chastisement of poaching that has been outlawed by many societies the world over. The Truly Married Woman by Abiose Nicole. This story is about the woman's voyage towards emancipation from patriarchy. Ayo, who is married in quotes to Ajay, why they are not legally married in a church wedding. She sits in a subordinate position. Ajay confides in his friend that Ayo is just a mistress. Again, when Ajay punishes Uju for wetting his bed, and Ayo tries to rectify him, he tells Ayo that nobody is going to school him on how to take care of his son. That shows that Uju only belongs to Ajay and not Ayo. When the white men from the World Gospel Crusading Agency arrive at their home, we see Ayo relegated back to the kitchen, and she moves out of the house not to hear what is being discussed. She is considered a woman. At the end of the day, when Ajay realizes how brilliant Ayo is, when she tells Ajay that their countrywoman Bimbola had told them that it is not right to punish children for trivial things such as wetting the bed. And again, when the World Gospel Crusading Agency visitors tell them that they are going to appear at the headline of their magazine, Ajay decides to wed Ayo. The morning after the wedding, Ayo seems to stand on equal footage with Ajay when she tells Ajay to go to the kitchen and prepare meals for himself. Equality between the man and the woman is finally achieved. The story, God sees the truth but waits. In this story, God sees the truth but waits, by Leo Tolstoy, is a reiteration of a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. that the moral arc of the universe bends towards justice. We see Aksionov, the central character of the story, being falsely accused of having killed a merchant who they spent the night with at an inn on his way to the Nizhny Fair. We see the police find a knife, a blood-stained knife, in his bag. Yet the crime had been committed by Marka Semyonik. When finally the bitter Aksionov meets Marka Semyonik in Siberia, where he was sent to the mines as a punishment for his crime, we see him become happy, we see him become glad as a result of finally finding justice when Marka Semyonik confesses his sin. Talking Money. Talking Money by Stanley Gazemba is a story about the woes that greed, pursuit for wealth, and failure to listen to the pieces of advice from the elderly. Agoya and Goseiwe, Mukidanyi's brothers, come to his home to dissuade him from selling his piece of land to the gallows. Mukidanyi's wife, Ronika, also weighs in and tells Mukidanyi that the gallows do not have clean money. If Mukidanyi wants to do away with his land, he has that right, but then he should at first lease the land. Mukidanyi fails to listen to these pieces of advice and trashes them all together. What happens at the end? In the middle of the night, the wee hours of the morning, the money in the suitcase under the bed, tied to his bed, begin talking. They say that their new environment is now amazing. The Story Boy by Gloria Mwaniga. Just one of us from Kenya. This story is about the effects of war and how we can aid anarchy and throwing away our country into a banana republic. In this story, we see war happening. When war happens, people are killed. When Boy's mother confronts Boy's father, why he has handed over the boy to Matwa Kei, who is a militia general, he states that the militia generals normally wipe off all families. They normally chop off their heads and hoist them like trophies. Maybe some eat the corpses of their victims like Idi Amin. The killing is so torturous, such that they begin by chopping off the ears of their victims and feeding them worm-infested earth. From the story, we also realize that there is raping of girls. Education is hampered since there is no going to school. Again, there is displacement of people. There are very many people out of fear running to Chwele Market, others move to Bungoma, and yet again, others cross the border to Uganda. There is tremendous child recruitment into the militia army. Children as young as 10 are part of the militia army. Boy himself is just 15 years. The children, once recruited, are radicalized. They are sent back to their homes to kill close relatives. And this is to instill bravery in them to a point that they can now kill others comfortably.